For the first time, possibly in history, women are admitting they want daughters, not sons.
Oh, don't worry. This is certainly going somewhere.
Having a son is seen as an extreme burden to women around the world.
Burdens, really? And how is raising a son different than raising a daughter?
You are expected to birth them, educate them, and shield them from conditioning from other boys. All this without acknowledgement.
Oh, so some women want acknowledgement for being a good parent? You would think that just being a good parent would be reward enough in itself.
In fact, that very same son may grow up to take his mother's rights away.
Oh yes, there are a lot of individuals out there that will try to convince some women that they need to be fearful of their own children in the future. But may I be very specific? It's only the boys that they're talking about. They would never mention the girls.
Women globally are reaching a line of contention, refusing to give birth to life that may become a weapon against them, against other women. This is why movements like 4B exist.
Oh, because of ignorance, fear, and bigotry? Got it.
Women are refusing to birth their own oppressors.
See what I mean?
They are liberating themselves from a life of suffering. Sons are no longer the standard, daughters are.
I wonder how long it's going to be before boy moms start being harassed for having boys. Oh, wait. In case some of you didn't notice, that's already happening.
Do all men think kindness is flirting? Oh my God.
Now I know what I'm about to say is going to be a truly radical idea, and there will be some out there that really do have difficulty wrapping their minds around this concept. But it is still not all men. Imagine. However, I will say, in this case, there are some men out there who unfortunately do tend to mistake kindness for flirting. But if a person is wondering how that could possibly be, how could a man mistake simple kindness or politeness or even a compliment for flirting? Well, the reason is actually very simple. If a person just takes a moment to think about it, how often do you think a man outside of his immediate family receives any sort of kindness or any kind of compliment at all from a woman who ultimately, well, doesn't want something?
I mean, even if they did, like, a lot of modern women like to make it seem like the man is being creepy. Like, if he mistook it for flirting, then just clear it up, because there's misunderstandings all the time about certain things. So just say, oh, well, no, I didn't mean it like that. Oh, I'll just just kind of trying to engage and just trying to be nice, and just say it like that and leave it alone. Most men, they understand that, but because y'all are weirdos, y'all think the man is a weirdo like you, just because of a mistake. Whenever y'all have mistakes and misunderstandings, y'all want people to clear it up and clarify, and, oh, let's have a powwow and let's have a meeting about it, and so we can talk and all of this other nonsense. But if a man were to say, oh, was a mistake, my bad, I thought, there was something more there, but no, that's my fault, my bad, right? It's obviously awkward, but you don't have to get online. See, what the real issue is y'all get online thinking that you're superior to men. Oh, well, I'm just kind. That's just the way that I am. You're not saying it, but that's actually what you're saying. Well, that's just the way that I am as a woman. I'm just naturally a nice person. No, you're not. You're a loser. Or else you wouldn't be online talking about this type of stuff. Y'all like to basically grandstand, is what a lot of modern women do. And when you get called out for it, that's when you say the man is rude. Stop being a loser, bro.
You ready?
Yes.
How very charming. Although, I guess we should be grateful for videos like these, because they are really giving us a window into the soul, as it were, allowing us to see the true colors of some of these women that have ideas like this, because basically they're letting us know that they don't care about men. They don't see them as people. They're just objects to be used, and when they're done with them, they will simply discard them for the next one. They're doing us all a favor.
Men are lonely right now because women no longer need them for survival, but rather they have to be desired and wanted.
Who exactly thinks that all of these men are as lonely as some women seem to need them to be? Because quite frankly, it's becoming a little suspicious that for the most part, the only ones that we hear about talking about this quote-unquote male loneliness epidemic happens to be mainly women. That is a bit fishy, because from what I have been hearing and seeing, Most men, in fact, are not lonely. They might be alone, but that doesn't necessarily make a person lonely. They are, in fact, for the most part, choosing to remain single to avoid the drama and possible toxicity that come with some relationships. And who can blame them after all? But it really seems that some women are really pushing this male loneliness epidemic as almost as if to try to make it true. But just a reminder, repeating something over and over again, doesn't make it one bit more true.
These modern women are full of themselves, man. They think that they bring so much to the table. I think I saw a woman online talking about how they were the entire ecosystem that supported a man. It's just sitting up there lying.
My New Year's wish is to ward off all the brokies, dusties, and bare minimum men.
Well, sure, why not? Everyone's allowed to have their own preferences when it comes to who they decide to date.
In 2026, I need proof of income, at least 2 pay stubs, the LinkedIn profile, and social security number if you're trying to go on a date.
I really hope that they were joking. However, there are quite a lot of women out there that do have the particular preference that they only date men that have a certain level of financial success, which is fine. However, a lot of those women seem to get rather upset when you ask what specific things do they bring to the relationship other than their looks. A lot of them will simply say that they bring themselves and that should be enough. But they're not taking into consideration very successful men often have very specific preferences in regards to the women that they date as well. And a lot of women think that men should just be happy that women are willing to date them, until they learn that men also have preferences as well. Why is the topic of misandry such a controversial topic to so many? And that goes for men as well as women. And for those who are not quite familiar with the term, misandry means despising all men simply because they happen to be men. I mean, it's almost as if there's a term that already exists for someone who despises a group of people based on their membership of a particular group, especially based on a characteristic they cannot control. But oftentimes, these individuals will be so upset by the discussion of misandry and its effects on individuals in society that they will actually try to change the subject to discuss how misogyny is worse, or they will actually try to gaslight individuals into believing that misandry does not actually exist, when there is loads of evidence to actually indicate that it does. So why is this such a controversial topic? And why do so many not want to actually discuss the effects that it has on men as well as women in society? I think this is something that needs to be further looked into.
Men don't really have a say in who gets picked.
Well, that's just amazing. Amazing that some individuals actually have convinced themselves of that and are trying really hard to convince other women of that. But gentlemen, just in case you didn't hear them the first time, apparently you have no choice in who chooses you to be in a relationship with. You are the real pick-me's.
And they never really did. They had to force it to be that way. So always remember that. At the end of the day, the right type of man will want to be picked.
The worst part about this is there's a lot of individuals that have actually convinced themselves of this type of nonsense. That is because a lot of women out there continue to view themselves as the prize in the relationship, when it couldn't be further from the truth. It is neither the man nor the woman that is the prize in the relationship. It is the relationship itself that is the prize. And until a lot of individuals actually wrap their minds around that concept, many of their relationships are going to continue to fail.
Just buying expensive equipment to talk stupid. Just to talk stupid. They talk about men have the audacity, and then they turn around and name their podcast Audacity Podcast. Because y'all know y'all have the audacity, y'all have the courage and the boldness to talk silly like this.
Instead of congratulating women for laying on their backs and getting pregnant,
Ooh, this ought to be good.
it's such a great thing in life. Instead of congratulating them, can we start booing these ladies?
Oh, booing women for getting pregnant now. I wonder what the overall goal there is.
Like, maybe it'll make women change their mind.
Change their mind? I wonder if they realize only the fragile and weak-minded succumb to peer pressure like that, but I'm sure they have more to say.
Like, it's like they've made such a big accomplishment in life when they've done the easiest thing possible, which is to lay on their backs and let a man breathe heavy on top of them and pound them like they're some type of donkey.
Oh, well, aren't they painting a pretty picture?
Maybe we all collectively should just come together in the comments and start booing them, like, boo. Like, can we just do that, please?
Now, I'm all for freedom of choice when it comes to whether or not a person wants to be a parent or not, and I fully support either decision. However, when it comes to someone trying to shame another person into not having children, well, it's probably best that that person does remain celibate. It does the gene pool a great favor.
What the do you mean you went on a coffee date with a man?
Interesting shaming tactic, calling other women names that happen to be okay with coffee dates. Yeah, I'm sure that's going to change their minds.
Beautiful women do not accept coffee dates. They don't. They know their value. They know what they have to bring to the table.
But what actually do those women bring to the table? A person never actually hears that part explained, because all I'm seeing is an attractive face and a questionable attitude.
You are way too valuable and you are boosting up way too many egos when you go on coffee dates with men.
Some women just don't understand the purpose of dating anymore. And I don't know why they don't just come out and admit it. It's a lot better than trying to hide it, because a lot of the rest of us can see it quite clearly. Because most reasonable people understand that the purpose of dating is to get to know the other person, not to try to see how much money they're willing to spend. Because quite frankly, if that's how a person is treating you before they even get to know you, then that tells you all that you need to know about that person.
One of the most dumb-ass rhetorics I hear from dudes when it comes to dating is how many of them think that women use them for free meals when it comes to dates.
I can't wait to see the look on someone's face when they realize that, yes, there are women out there that do that.
Do y'all genuinely think we are on some poverty line that, like, I can't pay for dinner?
No, it's not that at all. It just happens to be the case that there are some women out there that tend to act like leeches.
What makes you think I need a free dinner from you?
I don't think they want to hear the reason why a lot of men don't want to take certain types of women out on dates. They're just not ready for it.
It's just like, it's so obviously a cop-out. That's not the reason. That's not the reason you don't want to take women out on dates. It's because you're broke and don't have the facilities to take women on dates, and that's a different story, but don't try and blame it on us.
So some guys don't want to take certain women out on dates. So naturally, that's the guy's fault? Are they really thinking this through? I don't think so.
Like, nobody needs your bum-ass free meal, man. Just admit you can't afford it and go. Maybe you're projecting that because you want the free meal.
I don't often quote Shakespeare. However, I feel that this is an opportune moment. Methinks she doth protest too much.
It's just such a slap in the face that you guys think we can't afford this dinner and we need you to pay for it.
Or, most guys don't want to waste their money on a woman who's obviously just going to be a waste of his time. And just how can I be oppressed today? That should have been the title of that video. In fact, I've seen so many of these, they could even make up their own genre. And sadly, a lot of these videos come from individuals in the Western world, where they are actively trying to convince not just themselves, but others that they are genuinely suffering from some sort of oppression. And today, beauty is the tool of oppressors. Really? Is it? Is being privileged a tool of the oppressors? We're really reaching now, aren't we? Because when I have actually asked individuals to tell me how, as a woman, I am currently being oppressed, they're not able to actually give me a valid reason. The most common one is, and its limitations in some states. But I'm not oppressed. But there are so many out there that seem to want to be. And I've actually come up with a theory as to the reason why. Because as long as they consider themselves to be oppressed, they won't be held accountable for all of the hateful things that they say about their quote-unquote oppressors.
And that's what it's going to be every single time for these modern women. Just a bunch of foolishness. How can I be oppressed today? How can I show that somebody is holding me down? How can I make up stuff and say that I'm being hurt?
I'm going to say this once and once only. And I don't care who gets offended or triggered.
Ooh, this could be promising.
But if you get triggered, that's good because that means that something is wrong.
Well, get on with it.
Men do not belong in childcare centres, period.
But why? That doesn't really make any sense, especially considering statistically it's usually women that commit the most crimes against children.
If you're a woman and you're the breadwinner, why the fuck is you with the man? Isn't that the whole point of them?
Ooh, Now, this could be fun. Let's see how many people know the answer to this question. Which particular ism was just demonstrated in that video by the implication that a particular group of people's only purpose in a relationship is to fulfill the duties that have been stereotypically assigned
I'm gonna guess for 500.
to their particular gender. Still don't know what it is? Well, I'll give you another hint. There are some out there who mistakenly are of the opinion that by virtue of fact that a person happens to be of a particular gender, that they cannot experience that particular ism. It's amazing, isn't it, that some actually believe that. But if the roles were reversed, and this question was asked of men in regards to why they're in a relationship with women that don't cook and clean, the answer would be obvious. So I ask again, which ism was just demonstrated against men?
Most men are deeply unattractive because of Mother Nature and something called the Great Scam.
Oh, goody. Another genetics expert.
The Great Scam was the day that the male of the species convinced the female of the species that it no longer needed to prove itself worthy in order to reproduce and have babies.
Wait a minute. They can't be insinuating that the only thing that a male would have to do to prove himself worthy of reproducing would be to be attractive, right? They can't mean that.
The fact that the men are ugly says otherwise, right? They're not supposed to exist. They're supposed to be cannon fodder to the strong, attractive men who are worthy of having babies.
Oh dear. That really does seem to be what they meant. But unbeknownst to a great many out there, there are more qualities to look for in a potential partner than just what they look like. And our ancestors actually knew that.
They're out here being like, the men don't take care of themselves, that's why they're unattractive. No, you're a 10,000-year-old genetic anomaly. He's not supposed to exist, babe.
It will never cease to amaze me how some individuals can remain so willfully uninformed when there's so much information freely available out there on the internet. But let me just say this. Most individuals are aware that there is more to selecting a partner than just what they look like. But I wonder if individuals like this keep the same energy for unattractive women. Or is that another story?
So all the men from my previous post saying that they have found peace by being alone and they're not trying to date because they just want peace. Are you trying to say that we don't bring peace to your life?
Oh, they didn't try to say anything. They flat out said that they'd rather be by themselves and peaceful than to be with some of the women that are available out there.
I have to disagree.
Of course there would be some women that have to disagree with that statement because they simply cannot bring themselves to believe that many men, especially after seeing what's out there in the dating market, would rather be single, and they're actually happier being so.
I do not think that if a woman that you so desired was available to you, you would choose peace over commitment, good meals with conversation, and things like that. So I'm going to call your bluff.
Some women simply don't get it. Because none of those things that were listed are actually what brings a man peace in a relationship. And if we're being really honest with ourselves, most men can get all of those perks of being in a relationship without actually being in one. So quite frankly, ladies, some of you are going to have to start accepting that men can be happy by themselves. I know that comes as a surprise.
Especially after seeing what's out there in the dating market. Especially after seeing what's out there in the dating market. There's nothing out there. Well, what if you had this, but I don't. But I don't. You're living in a delusion. This is reality. A lot of these modern women are trash. They're trash people. They cause problems. They create chaos. And then you don't even get anything that you want. You don't get no support from that person. You don't get no love from that person. You don't get no from that person. You don't get no encouragement. No, yeah, babe, go ahead. You can do it. And then they become the worst versions of themselves. All of a sudden, when you put the ring on it and you get into a relationship, they go through all these ups and downs, and mostly when I say ups, I mean downs. I mean down and downer. Why is that the pattern? Why is that the norm? Why is that the baseline? It's gonna get worse and worse. On your side, it goes from bad to worse, right? And men are like, I keep on going in the same loop, in the same cycle of y'all saying it's worth it, but you guys are trash.
I'm so tired of ugly people acting like attractive people are ugly because they're mean.
Ooh, and what do we have here? Uninformed vanity?
Being attractive is a physical quality.
Correct. However, a person could say that someone being attractive is actually something that's multifaceted.
Yes, it is offensive when unattractive people hit on you as an attractive person.
Only to the self-absorbed. Because most intelligent individuals actually understand that a person is going to miss 100% of the shots that they don't take.
Ugly people would never understand that because they've never been hit on.
Really? Now that's some audacity. To think someone would go so far as to believe that whoever they consider to be unattractive obviously would never be considered attractive by anyone else for any other reason.
And every time a hot girl says that, people just come on and you're like, you're ugly. You're an ugly person on the inside. Like, do you think that people approach you based on what's inside?
I think someone needs a little reminder that while it is true that people are often approached based on what they look like, they are often rejected for the type of person that they actually are.
Let's stop moving the goalposts and, like, you can be beautiful and a horrible person. That does not make you ugly. And anyone who says it does is just coping.
Speaks the voice of experience in regards to coping. Because for some, it's actually easier to be rejected for who they are than not to be approached at all. Imagine that level of vanity.
Someone please explain to me why men are so threatened by a woman that is not desperate for a man. Why does it bother you so much?
In answer to someone's question, most men, in fact, have no desire at all to be in any kind of relationship with a desperate woman. Because desperation just reeks of insecurity. And insecurity, in many cases, often leads to toxicity in relationships. And any person, whether it be a man or a woman who is confident and comfortable in themselves, wants to stay as far away from toxic relationships as possible. Although I noticed that someone didn't actually wait for an answer to the question. See this. And one particular phrase there really stuck out because I have been noticing it being used by some women as a way to apparently try to shame men. It's that confident women don't intimidate real men. But I would be curious to hear how many women can actually define what a real man actually is.
And of course you have men in the comments just as confused. Just as confused. One guy says, we're not threatened, we just don't care. Another guy says, wait, I'm supposed to feel threatened? Exactly. No, y'all are talking about stuff that men don't even know exist. Oh, the male loneliness epidemic. Male loneliness epidemic. I didn't even know that was a thing. Oh, but because these modern women said it, then it's a thing. It's something that, oh, now we need to pay attention. Oh, you guys are struggling. Struggling? Am I struggling? And then you have to sit there and do inventory on if you're struggling or not. Man, well, maybe I am. I'll go do something this week.
Men marry the safe girl much more than they marry the dream girl.
Interesting theory. I wonder if that can actually be proven. Or is that just something that some women try to say to justify why they've been left by a man for a better woman? Because from what I have seen, most men actually do marry their dream woman, someone who brings them happiness and peace, as opposed to someone who brings them nothing but nightmares.
And that is because protecting their ego matters more to them than chasing someone who would never accept anything less than the best.
Let's be brutally realistic for a moment. There are some women out there who really have not the slightest idea what actually makes a woman a good woman, or has any concept at all of what many men consider to be marriage material in a woman. Because just a friendly reminder, a lot of men usually know very early on in the stages of a relationship if they're ever even going to consider marrying that woman. But the reason most of these women are so lost in the sauce is because they spend the majority of their time listening to other women, mostly single women, describe the best ways to keep a man in a relationship.
I am in love with 2 men at once, and I don't know what to do.
Here's an idea. Choose one before they both wise up and regain their self-respect and make the decision for you.
I've never been so happy in my life.
Why? Because stringing 2 men along is apparently now something to be proud of. But might I add, if a man was making this post, they would call him a pig.
I'm in this, like, I get to pick. I make the rules now. I'm in love with both, and I'm not going to decide in the next 24 hours. I'm going to let it linger.
Because that's what's fair to both of them, right? Sadly, there are women out there like this that will make a mockery of trampling all over a man's emotions and actually use it for a reason to make content.
I'm gonna enjoy this space. Nothing matters. Honestly, if you need something from me, ask me today.
Let's try this. Try being a good human being.
I'm in the best mood and I don't know how long this is gonna last. I have no idea if this will be till tomorrow, so ask me right now if you need anything, but I'm on top of cloud 9, baby.
I really hope that they both see this and understand what type of person claims to love them.
Why in the world would you be online talking about this? Why would you be online what would possess you to jump online saying stupid stuff like this? What possesses modern women to think, oh yeah, this is what I want to be talking about? After saying, well, if a man doesn't do this, if he treats you like this, then treat him like this. Oh, this is how you catch this man. This is how you do this, and this. Really out. I mean, I'm telling you, these modern women trying to be dating coaches, trying to talk about, oh, well, if you do this, then he does this, and I'm going to lead you into a successful relationship. What relationship are you trying to delete them in that's going to be successful like that? It's going to be trash. And they're going to end up like you, only with less money because they've been giving you money every month to do stupid stuff. I mean, at this point in time, y'all just getting on ChatGPT and saying, just give me the top 10 stupidest things that I can say for this woman's scenario. So this woman has X, Y, and Z going on. Here are the particulars. Here are the specifics. Here's the background. Now give me some of the most toxic advice that you can find around. And I'll give that to her. And when she fails at it, I'm just going to say, well, it's just him. I mean, that's got to be the best get out of jail free card. Well, it's not you, it's him. You're perfect. They're just intimidated by you. If all else fails, they're intimidated. If what I said blew up in your face massively, they're intimidated. The best get out of jail free card. I'm going to start using that. See how far I get. I mean, why not? It's 2026. What can actually happen? What can actually go wrong? They were intimidated. Oh, well, they didn't want to. They didn't want to give me. I'm gonna walk up in the store and grab something and just go in there and steal it, and then being like, in 10 years I'm going to be a success. And when the police come get me, and I'm just gonna say, you know what? If they were really smart, they would allow me to have this, because possibly, maybe, I'm going to be a bad bee in 10 years, and I would have come back and give them money and said, I was a man that walked in here and stole your chips and stole your stuff. But you saw a man in there that was going to be successful. And so today, I come back and I give you $5 for the... I give you your $5 back. Here's 10. Don't spend it all in one place. Thank you for believing in me. But because you didn't allow me to come in here and rob you blind, you're intimidated by my success. And that's what these modern women do. They expect to walk in a man's life, take everything from him, talk crazy to him, and then if a man should say, I see you coming. Hey, I got security cameras. Take your hands off of my stuff. Hey, I'm watching you. I know how modern women do. Take your hands off my life. Take your hands off of my children. Figuratively, right? You come in here trying to influence my kids, trying to mess them up, trying to mess up the dynamic that I have going on between them and maybe even my baby mama or my ex. You come in here trying to mess that up. And I should be so happy to date you because you're a high-powered, career-driven, ambitious woman. Oh, the store owner should be so happy. He should be so privileged. Go ahead and take it. Yeah, I believe in you to be a good person and a rich person in 10 years. Yeah, I believe in you. Come in here and I'm going to get... Matter of fact, how about you take that whole row? That whole row of chips, take that. As a matter of fact, I'm going to give you some cases of Coke to go with it. As a matter of fact, you get a box of candy, 2 boxes of candy. What else can I give to you? Because I want you to have everything. You have access, full access. How stupid would that store owner sound? Get your stupid behind up here and pay for the chips and get out my store before I call the police. And that's exactly what's happening with a lot of these modern women. Like I said, they want to make, oh, you want $500? Here's $500. Oh, you want me to take you to a steakhouse? Here it is. You want a bag that we don't have money for? Here it is. Go ahead and take it. Oh, you want a new car that you don't really actually need? Your car is just fine. Here, go ahead and take it. What else do you want? Because I believe in you. I believe in how strong you are. I believe in how strong you're going to be. So I want to support your vision. I want to support who you are. And I want to be privileged to say I was connected with this strong and independent and powerful boss babe, girl boss woman. I want to be protected. And even though she disrespected me, even though she didn't have to come in here and do what she did, I'm going to love it. It's not going to matter because she's going to be so powerful that she is above the law. She's so powerful that she's above what you should be doing in a relationship. She's the prize. She should be put on a pedestal. Even though she comes in here and breaks the law, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Come on in here. And when a man says no, get up here and reciprocate. Get up here and give back. Give me equal treatment. If he wants that, he's intimidated by you. If he's looking for you to put in just as much as you take out of the relationship, he's insecure. He's a man that's intimidated. Because no man, shut up. She got y'all every which way, turned around, looking stupid. And modern women still giving this woman money.
I don't ever want to hear a man say women are emotional ever again.
Okay, well, how about a woman saying it? Women are usually more emotional than men.
I cannot think of a more emotional and irrational thing than men's anger issues and the things that set them off like a game.
But I can. It's someone trying to say that based on the actions of some men's having anger issues, that an individual would try to lump all men in with those men. That sounds like it's coming from a place of pure emotion.
And protect and provide. Actually, men are the ones we need protection from.
I don't know about that. But frankly, in my opinion, the thing that a lot of women need protection from the most is bigoted and overly emotional thinking, such as the type that would actually group all individuals of a particular demographic together simply because of the actions of some. Because, wait, that's what racists do. But apparently it's okay for misandrists to do that as well, since it's men.
And women protect each other from men. The only thing these men provide is harm to women.
Well, it is unfortunate that some men are rather dangerous to women and to other men as well. I would say that perpetuating bigotry is even more dangerous.
One of my biggest pet peeves is when guys don't hold the door open for women. Like who raised you? Like, it genuinely pisses me off so much. Like, ew, like, just disgusting.
How amusing. Yet another demonstration of an individual who wants to complain about the problem, doesn't offer any solutions, and doesn't even seem to wonder for one moment how that behavior actually came into being, or whose fault it actually is. Because while a lot of women are very quick to blame the men in this situation, it hadn't occurred to them apparently that the reason why a lot of guys don't like to hold doors open for women anymore is because of how some women have treated them. Shocking, I know. But there are some women out there that act so entitled to such treatment simply because they are women that they don't even say thank you when someone holds the door open for them. Because while someone might complain about a man not having good manners, there are lots of women out there with no manners at all. And then there's those women that actually tell men that they don't need them to hold the door open for them. They even get angry or yell at them. So if a guy has that kind of experience trying to be polite for someone, what exactly makes a person think that they would repeat that again? But then again, some women don't like to take any accountability when it comes to the consequences of other women's actions.
Call me too woke. I don't care.
I think I'll wait and see what they say first.
If I got pregnant and I found out it was a boy, termination. Out of there. Immediately.
Misandry comes in many forms, and this particular belief is not all that unpopular. There are actually a lot of women who will refuse to carry a boy to term.
And no, I will not be elaborating or explaining the truth. My choice.
That doesn't surprise me one little bit. After all, it is rather difficult for individuals of that particular mindset to be able to even put into words, let alone a reasonable or rational argument, why exactly they're so prejudiced against an entire group of people, so much that they would not even allow members of that group to even be born. It is very hard to justify that level of bigotry, after all. That's probably why they don't try.
I have seen people get incredibly angry when they see a body like this on the cover of a magazine.
Gee, I wonder why ever could that be?
I have never seen any outrage like that when a body like this is on the cover of a magazine.
Shocking, isn't it? That there aren't more individuals that are absolutely outraged than a man who is quite apparently in very good physical condition on the cover of a fitness magazine. It's almost like people appreciate truth in advertising, whereas someone doesn't quite understand why people would be upset about someone who is quite obviously overweight on the cover of a magazine with the title beneath it saying, "This is healthy." That would be considered not truth in advertising, because like it or not, being overweight is not considered to be healthy. America is one of the most overweight countries on this planet, and I do understand the importance of body positivity and loving yourself for who you are. But the important thing to remember here is you should love yourself enough to actually take care of your body and to make sure that it is healthy. That is why a lot of individuals are upset.
I'm not angry about this. I'm not enraged by it. I don't care. If that's what you want to do, if that's what you want to call healthy, do that. I don't care. I don't have time for foolishness. Modern women specialize in keeping up foolishness left and right, day in and day out. They have nothing better to do. They're idiots. Quite frankly, they're losers, man. And so they have nothing better to do than to get online and to keep up foolishness. To keep up nonsense and stupidity. Girl, don't nobody care nothing about what you're talking about. A lot of these modern women be irrelevant. So that's why they get on here talking about this type of stuff. You don't have a job to go to. Chick-fil-A is open. You could have gone to Chick-fil-A and got a burrito or something like that. You could have gotten a Cobb salad. You could have got, I got a Coke float the other day. Go get you a Coke float. Come home and watch some TV. But whatever you do, stay offline with the stupid.
A lot of men these days are jealous of women.
No, they're not. But I'm sure that someone is going to try to make a case for why they are.
Because they feel insecure and they don't feel like they have a use or a purpose anymore.
That's why they're jealous of women? Because most men feel that way? Apparently they don't talk to a lot of men.
Because we can surpass them in the workplace. The one thing they had to impress us.
Really? Someone thinks that's what impresses women? Apparently they don't know much about women either.
And what do they really have anymore? Well, they could have ways to impress us, but instead of doing that, they're insecure and jealous because we're really the impressive ones.
If anyone was ever curious what a circular argument sounds like, you just heard one.
Women can have it all. Men could never have it all.
What exactly do they mean by it all?
Maybe that's why they suppressed us and our rights for so long, because they knew this, that we are the most powerful gender.
Powerful? I guess they're forgetting that whole strength advantage that guys have.
We can literally create life with our bodies.
No, you can't. And I'm sorry, ladies, to break this to you, but if you're amongst those who actually think that women create life all by themselves without the contribution of a man, then you are severely underinformed in biology.
The men who see that, the men who understand that, are gonna be those that end up with women because they know how to treat us and respect us like we deserve.
And how exactly do women deserve to be treated? Because there's a lot of them out there that seem to think they should be treated as better than men. I hope they don't call themselves feminists.
Those who can't see that or don't want to see that are going to remain single and die alone with their video games.
I think a lot of men would prefer to be single as opposed to being with someone who has an entitled attitude.
I think the scales will rebalance. It might take a crazy, insane event for men to wake up and step up again and learn that they can step up. And I think the ones who just stay insecure and jealous are removing themselves from the gene pool so their generational trauma doesn't repeat itself. What are your thoughts? Let's chat about it in the comments.
I think a lot of individuals put too much weight on being in a relationship. Being in a relationship doesn't make a person better than anyone else. Because quite frankly, there are a lot of us that would rather be single than with the wrong person.
As a man, why are you complaining?
I can think of multiple very valid reasons why gentlemen would have a reason to complain about something.
If you are complaining to me, I'm gonna get the immediate ick.
Oh no, not that. I can only imagine the number of gentlemen that are going to be absolutely heartbroken.
Because that's a woman's job.
To complain? Can that really be what they meant?
A woman's job is to complain while you fix.
Well, okay, that was what they meant. Yeah, let's hear it for gender stereotypes, everyone.
Do not get on my phone, start texting me and complaining about your day.
Oh, heaven forbid a guy actually take a moment to vent about his day. How awful. Yet, ironically, these will be some of the same types of women that insist that the guys listen to all of their problems.
I don't care. Solve it. You're a man.
Well, here's a problem that we can solve right now. Gentlemen, if you run into a woman that treats you like that, run the other direction.
Can men just not exist?
No, that would actually be the end of the species. It would actually be rather refreshing, though, to see some women out there that aren't offended by everything male.
They literally ruin everything. I'm so sick of them. I'm sick of going out into society and you guys are there.
Well, here's an idea. Stay home.
It gets to a point, like, I'm so sick of seeing them. Everywhere I turn, there's a man. Oh my god, you guys ruin every freaking experience.
Yeah, they already complained about that already. I wonder, however, if there's a point that they're going to be getting to.
It's to the point where I don't even want to go anywhere. It's like I just go to work and go home because it's like everywhere I go, you are going to be there. Men, I'm so sick of it. Like, you guys ruin every experience. I just can't. Like, I'm so tired. Everywhere I go, it's just annoying. You guys don't know boundaries. You guys don't know how to stay in your lane. Always interjecting yourself. Always speaking too much. Like, can y'all just not talk?
Well, instead of complaining about it constantly, why doesn't someone do something about it? Create an all-female community where all of you that feel the same way can go live together, support each other, and try to find something else to complain about.
There's no such thing as a woman having high standards.
Sure about that? Because I have certainly seen some women out there indicate what their standards happen to be, and in my opinion, they fall into the category of unrealistic expectations.
It's men who have high entitlements and low effort.
Of course. Of course it's the men's fault. After all, why wouldn't it be? And sadly, there's a lot of women that will continue to think this way, because it hasn't occurred to a lot of those women why some men simply don't want to be in relationships with them. The women think that it's because their standards are so high that the men simply don't measure up, and they know this, or they're too lazy to try to meet those standards, when in fact, it's the men who have high standards for themselves in regards to who they choose to be in a relationship with. And a lot of women out there simply don't measure up. Because let's be very clear, having standards in a relationship is healthy. But a lot of women don't like it when they don't measure up to a man's standards. So it's just easier to call him entitled.
Guys want to be so bad nowadays, like it's insane.
Oh, really? And how are we going to decide to try to degrade men today?
Like, it's insane. Instead of the guy holding the door for me, I had to hold the door for him, and he didn't even say thank you.
Oh no. So a woman got treated in the same way that a lot of men do when they hold the door open for an ungrateful woman. It's like some of them don't like equality when they get a good taste of it.
Like, it blows my mind how guys want to be so bad.
What's really mind-blowing is that there are still actually some women out there that really do believe that simply by virtue of the fact that they happen to be women are actually entitled to not only special treatment, but also special privileges that should be afforded to them by, well, all men. But yet, they would be the very first ones to complain that they're not being treated as equals, but yet they still want special treatment. Can't really have it both ways.
Not trying to pay $150 on a first date.
$150 on a first date. I mean, who can blame them? Who would want to pay that much money just to get to know somebody? Which, I might add, is the entire purpose of a first date.
$150 is honestly like an average cheaper price of going to eat out for two people nowadays.
Average cheaper price. Where exactly are some of these individuals eating? That's not cheap. That's exorbitant.
If you can't afford that, maybe you shouldn't be dating.
If you're a woman and happen to agree with that particular sentiment, that $150 isn't all that much for a guy to spend on a first date, and you're one of those that actually expects a guy to spend a minimum of that much, then I'm just going to say it. You're not interested in getting to know the guy or starting a relationship. You're simply interested in the perks that you're getting for having someone pay for your meal or your activities. I wonder how many names I'm going to get called for that one.
Okay, so women are emotional ones.
Oh, goody. Where is this going?
Help me out. How come 90% of violent crimes are committed by men and 90% of all homicide offenders are men?
Oh, I think I see the problem here. It's an inability to understand two subjects, math and statistics. But to be fair, those two things do stump a lot of individuals. Because while 90% of those crimes are in fact committed by men, it is not 90% of the men that are committing those crimes. They're also not taking into consideration the fact that a lot of those crimes are committed by repeat offenders.
Do you have periods every month where you are overcome by this sudden rush of hormones? No?
Oh dear, they're really trying to compare a rush of hormones to someone having some very serious behavioral, not to mention probably some serious mental health problems as well. Oh dear, I think we just stepped back in time.
Math ain't mathing. Why so emotional, bro? How come you're losing at your own game?
Yeah, as I said earlier, the math isn't mathing, most likely because there's a lot of individuals out there that simply don't know how to do math. But I find it interesting that that entire video was nothing but an emotional response.
I'm actually gonna crash out because why the did I just see a man post on Instagram 33 minutes ago and he has 100 likes?
Okay, and that is a problem somehow because why?
And he's not famous.
Sounds like jealousy. This might come as a complete shock, but a person doesn't have to be famous in order to post content that people actually like. That's the key part.
I swear to God, if men don't get off social media, I'm gonna make the cartel putting hits on ice look like beginner.
Ew. That just really goes to show that jealousy really is not a good look. And it can absolutely bring out the worst traits in some individuals, as we have just seen. Because not only was that an attempt at, I hope, a joke, not only in very poor taste, but that wasn't even remotely funny.
These modern women are haters, man. They don't like you doing better than them. When they think that they put in the work to get something done, they think that they're better looking than you are, guaranteed. They think that they have more talent than you do, which is what she's thinking. Why do you get to go viral and I don't? Jealousy, envy. Stick to what you got going on and stop worrying about what a man's got going on.